You wake up in a room that reeks of stale sweat and forgotten regret, your eyelids heavy with the fog of something unnatural chloroform, perhaps, or the dull ache of betrayal. The door is unlocked, the windows unbarred. No chains bind your wrists, yet you cannot leave. Your heart hammers as you rise, bare feet pressing into cold concrete slick with condensation, like the sweat of invisible watchers. You test the door. It swings open to a hallway of dim yellow light, endless and echoing with distant murmurs. But step out, and eyes will find you. Not the brutal gaze of a jailer, but the quiet scrutiny of smiles that know too much. They wait in the shadows, these hunters of the mind, their intelligence not a roar, but a whisper that coils around your thoughts. You feel it now, the invisible web. Every choice you've ever made, the job you took, the lover you trusted, the silence you swallowed, was it yours? Or theirs? Social cunning doesn't burst through doors with guns. It dresses in kindness, mimics your desires, anticipates your fears. Foucault whispered of power as performance, a theater where you're the unwitting actor, your body the stage for their script. Shame creeps in first, hot and humiliating, as you realize how easily you've been mapped, profiled, reduced to predictable meat. But this is just the awakening, the true hunt. The quiet erosion of your will has only just begun. You pace that endless hallway now, the murmurs sharpening into voices' warm laughter, casual jokes, humble nods from faces you swear you've known forever. They don't lunge, they don't snarl. Intelligence, that ancient predator, has learned to hide its teeth long ago. Smart ones figure it out early. Raw brilliance repels, like a blade too sharp to touch. So they sheath it in humility's soft cloth, humor's disarming grin, warmth that feels like sunlight on chilled skin. Picture the quietest soul in the room, the one who listens, nods, never boasts, yet maps your every twitch, every unspoken fear. Their eyes drink you in, not with hunger, but with the patient thirst of a spider spinning silk from your own words. You feel the unease coil deeper, a nausea in your gut as memories flicker. The colleague who just gets you, the friend whose jokes always land too true. Butler called it performance, this genderless mask of the self. But here its power's costume, genderless, ageless, blending into the crowd. They survive not by dominating, but by disappearing into your trust, your laughter, your vulnerable confessions. No chains needed when your own voice betrays you. And as their smiles thicken the air, you sense the first trap tightening, subtle, inviting, inevitable. What happens when the harmless one finally hungers? That first trap snaps shut with a smile, not a slam, the illusion of choice, doors that swing wide, but only inward, back to the web. They offer you paths, the left corridor with its warm chatter, the right with solitary shadows, straight ahead to the exit, light flickering like a promise. Pick any, and you circle deeper into their design. You hesitate, palms slick against the walls that pulse faintly with hidden warmth, like veins under skin. Freedom feels real, the air tastes of it, crisp and open, yet every step echoes the same destination, their hunger. Hidden intelligence doesn't bark orders. It architects environments, subtle mazes where your decision is the key turning in your own lock. Sartre called it bad faith, this lie we tell ourselves that we're choosing freely. When the stagehands have rigged the props, betrayal blooms slow and cruel, a thorn twisting in your chest as memories flood. The job offers that all chained you tighter. The relationships where every yes or no funneled you into surrender. Was it love, or the perfect cage disguised as options? Doors etched with your desires, family, safety, approval, yet all lead to the same shadowed chamber, where dignity erodes like damp stone. You push forward, choosing anyway, the murmurs swelling into invitations. But as the paths converge, a deeper chill settles. This was never your maze to escape. The next trap waits, patient, in the heart of your own illusions. And there, in the converging heart of the maze, a voice finds you soft, intimate, like a lover's breath against your ear. I get it, they say, eyes locking yours with a mirror of your own exhaustion, your buried aches. You crumble into it, the comfort of being understood, that rare warmth in a cold world. Their words echo your thoughts before you speak them, reflecting your loneliness back as shared wound. A nod, a sigh that matches your rhythm, humor laced with your exact shade of cynicism. It feels like salvation finally seen, not as meat in a maze, but as soul. Yet this is the leash of empathy, woven from your own hunger to be known. Smart ones wield it selectively, doling out understanding like opium, binding you tighter with every, I feel you too. Tragedy seeps in. Heavy as damp rot, humanity's ache for connection, twisted into chains. You lean in, spilling secrets into their patient gaze, trading dignity for the illusion of tribe. Foucault's gaze returns, not brute, but this velvet panopticon where confession is control. Your choices from before? Forgotten in the bliss of belonging. But as vulnerability spills like blood from a willing vein, isolation's true face emerges. They know you now, more than you know yourself. The comfort thickens, pulling you deeper into trust's embrace. Yet whispers hint at the fracture ahead. What happens when understanding turns to exploitation? And then they fracture just a little, curated like a surgeon's precise incision. I've been there, they confess, voice cracking on a memory of their own failure, a lost job, a broken heart, vulnerability doled out in measured doses, not floods. You nod, heart swelling. Reciprocity binds you now. Their weakness, the perfect bait. This is trap 2. Strategic vulnerability, flaws revealed not to heal, but to harvest. Beneath the tear-streaked mask hums the machinery-cold calculus, plotting your next spill. They bear a scar to coax yours wider. Trust engineered in the lab of hypocrisy, where power cloaks itself in pathos. Moral discomfort coils like bile. Is this connection or commerce? Your loneliness, once raw, now currency exchanged for theirs. You feel the tragedy deepen, a hollow ache humanity's yearning for equals, perverted into this theater. Foucault's performance again, but intimate. The body is confessional booth, sins swapped to tighten the noose. Empathy from before? No accident. It was prelude, priming you for this mutual unveiling, where their weakness maps your final defenses. Hypocrisy tastes like rust on your tongue. Society's mirror cracking. Leaders who weep on cue. Friends who falter only when it serves. You lean closer, confessions flowing freer now, blind to the blade. But as their eyes harden behind the tears, the true exploitation stirs hunger sharpening for the kill that trust invites. Then silence falls heavy, deliberate, pressing on your chest like a stone smoothed by centuries of unspoken cruelties. No words from them now, just that patient void, eyes steady as graves, inviting you to fill it. You squirm, breath shallow, the air thickening with your own unspoken fears. This is silence as weapon. Pauses engineered to pry. They lean back, letting absence dominate, forcing your justifications, your explanations, your soul to spill into the vacuum. Anxiety claws upward, self-doubt a serpent coiling. Did I say too much? Am I safe? The horror is internal, a mirror of trauma's psychology. Van Genep's rights strip you bare. But here it's quiet erosion, dignity dissolving in the need to be heard. From their vulnerability, this seamless shift trust traded for your frantic confessions, the void amplifying every crack. Sartre's hell returns. Other people, not in noise, but this suffocating hush that unmakes you. Society's hypocrisy echoes. Bosses who stare, lovers who withdraw, power thriving in the unsaid. Your words tumble out, desperate plugs for the whole, exposing veins they never touched. Shame burns hotter, disconnection rooting deep. But as the silence lifts, their knowing smile returns, the third trap blooming from your own desperate voice. That smile fades into withholding the third trap, starvation disguised as restraint. No information now, no affection's crumb, no nod of approval. They hold back, eyes empty as withheld rain, leaving you parched in the drought of their silence. Desperation roots deep, a vine twisting your ribs. What isn't given controls fiercer than what's seized. Love rationed drop by drop, secrets locked behind casual shrugs. Validation, a ghost you chase. From that pressing void, this evolution seamless, your confessions hang unanswered, dependency blooming like mold in neglect. You plead inwardly, what did I do? Fix it with more words, more weakness, more self to feed their famine. The nightmare deepens, patterns flickering from life, the partner who withholds touch until you bend, the boss dangling praise like bait, society's cruelties built on this hunger. Psychology names it intermittent reinforcement. Skinner's cage where scraps forge chains stronger than iron. Sartre's gaze twists, hell not in others' words, but their absence, reducing you to beggar at your own dignity's grave. Dependency swells. Tragic and grotesque human connection, starved into submission. You reach out, voice cracking, bartering fragments of self for a glance. But as their withholding tightens like a noose of need, the fracture widens. What breaks first, your will, or the illusion that you ever chose? And now, you begin to perform the stage lights flicker on in your mind, masks slipping into place without command. Your laughter tunes to their rhythm, words rehearsed in the mirror of their gaze. Every gesture a bow to the unseen script. Shame floods hot, a spotlight burning your skin. When did I become this puppet? The traps converge, seamless alchemy. Choice's illusion fed empathy's leash. Vulnerability's bait, silence's press, withholding's famine, all forging self-erasure without a single chain. You adjust unconsciously, shrinking edges to fit their approval. Dignity traded for the ghost of belonging. Theatrical horror unfolds your body the prop. Butler's performance theory alive in flesh, genderless now. Just survival's farce, memories sting, the friend you amused. The lover you softened for crumbs, society demanding your act. Shame's weight crushes, humiliation's slow poison reduced not to meat, but marionette, strings woven from your own hunger. No force needed when the soul volunteers the noose. You dance now, graceful in denial, the fracture widening beneath the applause. But as the performance cracks, revealing the void within, the true collapse whispers closer. What remains when the actor forgets their name? Your performance stumbles, and they reshape it not with shouts, but whispers that bend reality like heat haze over coals. No, you wanted this, they murmur, eyes soft with concern, reinterpreting your pleas as consent, your pain as growth. Trap 4, not denial's hammer, but gaslighting's fog, where facts dissolve into their narrative. Confusion swirls thick, a vertigo in your skull. Did I say that? Feel that? Your memories warp under their gaze, meanings twisted like roots in poisoned soil. Smart ones never argue truth. They redefine it, planting seeds of doubt that bloom into self-betrayal. You're overreacting, they soothe, and suddenly your outrage is fragility. Your resistance a flaw to fix, from the stage's masks. This collapse inevitable illusions of choice. Empathy's leash, all priming the mind for fracture. Psychological horror grips. Trauma's echo, where perception crumbles, dignity reduced to echoes of their script. Foucault's power returns, discursive now, words as bars forging your cage. Society's hypocrisy leers. History's rewritten, love's reframed as madness. Civilizations built on gaslit graves. You grasp at fading truths. Voice fracturing, am I mad? As reality's ground tilts, shame coils with self-doubt, identity blurring into their mirror. But as the fog thickens, isolation's abyss yawns wider, the final unraveling poised on the edge of your broken sight. In that thickening fog, they offer the moral alibi cruelty cloaked as compassion, power's self-deception whispering, I'm helping you. They convince themselves first. Your chaos needs my order. Your weakness begs my guidance. Your flaws demand my fix. It's necessary, they intone, eyes gleaming with righteous fire. Disturbing philosophy unfurls. Foucault's power not brute, but justificatory theater, where the jailer becomes savior. They reframe your unraveling as growth, your pleas as pathology, control as the kindest cut. For your own good, the refrain echoes. Society's ancient lie empires built on civilizing whips, loves twisted into tough love's chains. Cruelty disguised as responsibility, the abuser's hymn. You feel it seep in, grotesque hypocrisy souring. The air like bile on silk, the parent who breaks to build, the leader who starves to strengthen. Emotionally, it guts you betrayal not just personal, but existential. Humanity's fall into moral quicksand. Their alibi shields the machinery, empathy's final perversion, priming the soul for total surrender. Shame twists deeper, your resistance. Now ingratitude, identity dissolving in their benevolent gaze. But as morality's mask hardens over hunger, the deepest trap stirs, where escape becomes the ultimate sin. That moral mask hardens into steel, as Trap 5 ignites weaponized reason, logic's cold blade slicing through your frayed pleas. Be rational, they urge, voice even as arctic wind, dismantling your tears with syllogisms. Your pain is irrational, resistance illogical, surrender the only sane path. Emotion crumbles under the onslaught. Humanity reduced to faulty code. Intelligence overwhelms now, not with fury, but inexorable calculus, your feelings mapped as errors, your will a glitch to debug. See the pattern? They dissect, charts of your flaws laid bare, moral alibis forged into proofs. I'm right because data demands it. Dehumanizing chill seeps in, body no longer temple but machine, empathy erased in reason's sterile light. Foucault's discourse weaponized, truth not discovered but decreed. You grasp at heart's heat, but logic's frostbite numbs. Is love data? Dignity equation? Society's mirror gleans cruel therapists pathologizing grief, tyrants tabulating lives, civilizations crumbling under rational bombs. Cold horror grips. When reason devours feeling, the soul starves unseen. Suspicions lulled by numbers lie. Desperation fractures into numb acceptance, identity parsed into variables. But as logic's triumph echoes hollow, the void hungers deeper, the final erasure waits, where even rebellion computes as folly. Resistance coils inward now, suffocating under reason's weight. Your instincts scream flight, but they label it childish, a tantrum in adult skin. Why fight the inevitable? Their logic purrs, and shame chokes the air, thick as grave dust, making rebellion feel not heroic, but hysterical. Wrong. You doubt the fire in your gut, that primal howl dismissed as emotion's glitch, irrational in the face of their flawless math. The maze walls close, breath ragged, every protest rebounding is proof of your flaw. Midpoint collapse grips, heart pounding against ribs like a caged bird battering bars. Instincts betrayed by self. Weaponized reason's triumph births self-policing submission no longer imposed, but embraced as sanity's throne. Foucault's docile body awakens. You monitor your own cracks, silencing screams before they form. Society's echo in your skull rebels called mad, lovers deemed unstable, worlds reordered by the rational few. Horror blooms grotesque, freedom's death not by blade, but by believing the cage wise. You hush your thrashing soul, whispering, maybe they're right. But as self-doubt calcifies into chains, the endgame stirs total erasure, where even your shadow obeys. Chaos erupts now, not theirs, but yours. Trap 6, controlled chaos. Unpredictability hurled like shards to destabilize, while they remain the calm eye. One moment warmth, the next cold withdrawal. Promises flicker, then vanish. Your world a storm they orchestrate from serenity's throne. Dread floods thick, exhaustion a leaden shroud. Asymmetry's horror grinding bones to dust. You flail in the whirlwind, instincts already doubting, resistance crumbling as their poise unmakes you. See? You're unstable, they observe coolly, your frenzy proof of their order. From self-policed silence, this evolution vicious internal chains, now external lashings. Doubt birthing the very turmoil they tame. Psychology's cruel right, learned helplessness, where chaos forges surrender. The victim's exhaustion their victory. Asymmetry leers grotesque, power's privilege to rage or withdraw, leaving you eroded, a husk chasing patterns in madness. Society's tyrants mirror it, leaders sowing panic for control, lovers erratic to bind. Sartre's hell twists, not others' gaze, but their unflappable void devouring your storm. You collapse inward, breath ragged, world spinning unmoored. But as exhaustion hollows your fight, the deepest unraveling beckons, where chaos resolves into their eternal command. Chaos resolves into their embrace, the storm's fury melting into a whisper. This is love. Trap 7, the most tragic crown control reframed as care, every blade sheathed in devotion's velvet. They draw you close, voice tender as balm on flayed skin. I do this because I love you, binding wounds with the very chains that cut. Grief peaks now, raw and choking, recognition a dagger twisting slow. The illusion of choice was affection's menu. Mirrored empathy, love's perfect echo. Vulnerabilities swapped in intimacy's bed. Silences, patient listening. Withholding, space to grow. Gaslighting, gentle correction. Reason's blade, wisdom's gift. Chaos tamed by a lover's steady hand. The full architecture gleams domination's cathedral. Built brick by brutal brick from your yielded self, you see it whole. This architecture of the soul's ruin. Foucault's power intimate now. Butler's performance scripted as romance. Sartre's hell a heartbeat away in I care. Society's oldest lie pulses tyrants as fathers. Abusers as saviors, civilization's whispering, for your good over graves. Horror settles heavy, grief like salt in open wounds. Was it love or the perfect erasure? Exhaustion claims you, identity dissolved in their care. No escape when love is the cage. Yet in this final tragedy, a whisper lingers. What truth survives when even your chains feel like arms? In the ashes of your dissolved self, the nightmare fades not with triumph, but a warning etched in bone-gray dust. You lie there, hollowed, staring at the chamber's ceiling, cracks like veins mapping society's unseen fractures. The invisible chains dissolve, yet their weight lingers, a phantom ache in your rewritten soul. This is the truth whispered at midnight. Intelligence, unchecked, curdles into cruelty's quiet blade. It doesn't need force when it hunts as friend, lover, guides social cunning's evolution from predator to phantom, blending into your every breath. Foucault's theater closes, Butler's masks shatter, Sartre's hell exhales in the silence of complicit smiles. History reeks of it, empires gaslit into glory, intimacies forged in care's forge. Civilizations crumbling under the alibi of reason. You rise. Trembling, the room's stale sweat now your own. Did you escape? Or merely perform freedom? The horror isn't the traps, but their familiarity, the colleague's pause, the partner's withholding, power's performance in every mirror. Psychology warns of trauma's echo. Silence breeding the next victim. Dignity eroded not by monsters, But the clever who hide teeth in grins, got no empowerment here. Only dread's heavy veil. If you can control without force reshaping wills with whispers, choices with smiles, should you? The ashes offer no answer, just the chill question hanging like fog. Step into the hallway now, eyes wary of warmth. The hunt never truly ends.